sometimes it does.
What do you mean? Oil wheels, you mean?
Wheels on the chair.
All right, well, I'm trying one of these.
Oh. I'm trying an apple pie.
Well, later on this year, you'll be 86. Then you'll be 90, then you'll be 100, and you get a telegram off Queen.
As long as time keeps marching on, I'm not bothered. I'm same as everybody else.
Mm. But your last one, you've all gone. All your brothers, all your sisters, they've all gone. There's only you left. You lived it. Outlived them all, you have. So you must have been doing something right, smoking all in Park Drive on Woodbines. Didn't do you any harm, did it?
I was cheaper than three of them packing them too much, too much.
Well, I don't know. Before my time, if there were.
That was on the side, that before I had a lot of money.
So they used to put 3 cigarettes and some matches in.
2 matches between 3 cigarettes.
Really? Didn't know that.
Well, they just fitted in between the...
Yeah.
You couldn't afford to put 3 in.
No, I only remember you buying 20 Woodbines for a long time, then you switched over to Park Drive.
Yeah.
No tips. You weren't tipped.
No,
No, you always smoked Park Drive untipped.
I got a cigarette holder, but I didn't use it.
Yeah, you look alright, Nancy, weren't you, with a cigarette holder?
Like Tatar.
Yeah.
Smoking all that length just to get that way.
Do you remember Madame Benet? Didn't
Yes,
she have a cigarette holder?
I wouldn't be surprised, I can't remember her.
No, I can't remember her very well. She lived over in Corn, didn't she?
I've been in her house.
Yeah.
But I can't remember her.
Right, you've been in her house. Do you remember anything in her house? Ah, that's right.
Elephant.
Yeah. It's carved out of an ivory tusk, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's what I remember as well. I wonder if Ronald remembers that.
Oh, he can't miss it, he can't.
I know, but Ronald's younger than me. And we were only about 5, 6 when we went over there. So he'd only be about 4. It's funny what you remember, isn't it?
Oh, she will have gone over the board by now, won't she?
Who? Madame Benet? Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I think she was older than you and older than Uncle Ronald. She'd have been about. She'd be about 100-year-old now, I reckon. Oh. Yeah, she would.
Can you feel a draft off that door?
I've opened back door to get some fresh air in.
Oh,
Are you cold?
No, you can have a window for me.
Well, it's easy to open back door, just get a bit of fresh air in. I was sweating. Oh, I wonder what happened to her.
Who are you looking at now?
Madame Benet, I wonder what happened to her.
Madam there.
I'll have to ask Bernice and Gladys when I see them. Because, you know, more on their side, wasn't it? So I'll ask them, see if they know. I mean, water under the bridge now, but I mean, all those times we drove over to Colne in three-way loader and yeah. That flipping van did some mileage. We went all over the place in that thing, and it used to amuse me because it was a three-way loader.
Yeah.
We got a side door there, a back door there, and a side door there. I remember going up to Huddersfield, innit? I remember going down somewhere near not when you worked at Huddersfield, I think. During that time we came back. I know I always tell the story.
I can remember a shop on Minton Road.
Right.
I'm looking across the road into a house or something.
Yeah.
One of them that goes up to where you were talking about now.
Oh, you talked about Bob Anderson. He had a van.
Yeah.
Right. Right, well that's in about 1969, 1970. And he used to go up Huddersfield. But then when I bought the shop off you and you moved over to Southport, I bought a van.
Yeah.
And I used to do up in Huddersfield, delivering all the clothes to mother care and stuff like that. And I used to do it every week. I'd go up to Huddersfield, Halifax, Leeds, Wakefield, all them places, round, dropping all these big boxes off for mother care, and then drive back to Oldham. But no, well before then, when you worked at, would it be Clydesdales up in Huddersfield?
Clydefield, Marketplace.
Yeah, but you also worked at Huddersfield or Halifax for a long time. You used to get bus first thing in the morning from Clyde Street and go up there. But I remember going up there with you once and coming back over at Moores in that, I think it was that three-way loader. And it were foggy.
Yeah, so getting to it without light at time light.
That's right, you were following lights thing in front.
Well, light them just on the board.
Well, you thought you were following light. Then you realised when you threw your fag out when that light disappeared, you'd been following a reflection of your cigarette end in windscreen. Well, that's the story anyway. You know, for years and years and years, when you worked up there, you used to bring us little presents. Like once you brought these 2 rugs home. There was a goat skin and a sheepskin, and the sheepskin was blue. And the sheepskin was for Ronald, and I got the goat skin. And it was like a rug, brown and white, and it still had feet on, you know, sticking out at the end. We had that was at Shaw Road. And then another time, don't know what Ron got, but it was a mirror, you know, like you put on there, but it was like that shape, with corners cut, square with corners cut off, hexagonal, yeah. And we had that for years and years and years. But I mean, you used to say, oh, this is for you. But it wasn't, it was for a house. But it just made me feel important.
You know, the people don't get about like that.
No.
They just live and die, live and die. They have had a bit of experience.
That's right, they don't do anything. I mean, you go back over your life, what you've done. Phew. You've done everything. Started off delivering rags to all them different businesses, you know, hand rags or whatever, because you got your logbook over there where you delivered to. Then you ended up working for a pickle factory. And then you... Where were it where you cut your finger? With that pickle factory?
It weren't my fault really.
No.
The foreman said, put that plastic in that lid, take it out and tip it in the tin. And the waste bin up there. Big waste bin outside.
Yeah.
So, said here, I'll put it in here for you. So he did it. Slapdash. Loads of fat. Where like come off meat or something.
Yeah.
But it were all soft and soggy fat. But it stuck to the inside of the lid.
Yeah.
And I go and tip it into that big tin out there now. Then, when I've tipped it up, I'm reaching up, and when I tipped it up, the thing got out of my hand.
Chop your finger off. But that wasn't a...
That's like, that's why I never bother about it now.
But that wasn't a pickle factory, was it? What were they called?
No. went to the office straight away, the finger were hanging off. Because it was a rough river around that lake.
Yeah.
So when I tipped it up, slipped out of the hand with a load of fat on it.
What was it
And
called?
that covered, I might have put my other hand in after it. They caught me. I brought it up. And I got up top it, and a girl at top it there. Oh, I said, have you got a bandage or something? Look, something I can put on it. I put it. No, you don't look at it, you'll be upset. I was upset, never mind. Oh, she said, good Lord, no, can you just hang on a minute? I'll get him in, I'll come in, he'll sort you. She goes just round the corner, back with this fella. He's got his fingers cut and it's hanging up. I said, let's have a look at it. I've noticed it like that, like, you know. You cut it right through, have you? Well, the panel did, that, but not me. Oh, well, I put some iodine on that. Well, come on, sit down. Go back in top, it sits down. And then made a fine job, he cleaned it up like, without touching it. Just let me leave it resting on there. He said, no, I'll have to put this underneath it, which was like a plaster, but it wasn't a plaster, it was thick like a plaster.
Yeah.
So I put that down there. And don't try and bend it. Just leave it alone, straight, just leave it like I've left it for a day or two. And I put it back because it was hanging
So
off.
you never went to hospital?
That was hanging off.
You didn't go to hospital?
No. And he did it in her office.
Well, you've done a good job of it, because it's lasted all this time.
And then put that back on and it's still dead. No, it's not dead.
Yeah.
But it's no use. It brought this in here.
Yeah, but you can still use it.
You have to make it holes in the pie, he told me.
Alright. But I'm trying to think.
That was bakery.
What would that, which bakery?
Bakery there at, oh dear. I know what it is in my memory. It's a place where they have the office.
Yeah.
Like in this place is the office.
Yeah.
And that's where they took me to there. And all the
Was it just a bakery? Or did they do other things?
Yeah, in another room they baked them. But the office was there at the
Do you know whereabouts it was? Was it Chatterton or Oldham or...
You know what the office was?
Where was it? Was it Chatterton? Oldham? Middleton Road? No.
Get in there with that. No, it was at Market.
Wasn't it Yates's, was it?
Well,
Yates's, back at Yates's Wine Lodge. It was, wasn't it? That's right, because you used to go in there, you've told me before, round back of High Street, facing St Peter's Church.
Correct.
That's, yeah, right. Well, we got that one right, anyway. Oh,
we don't know about
you know,
them.
it's right on tip of my tongue of who you worked for when you used to, they had a pickle factory down near, oh, it was Middleton Road, Royton, down, oh, what do they call it? I think it's still there, a pickle factory, they did pickles, and you worked there for
They
it.
were in Ballard at the time, weren't they?
I don't know,
Well,
I can't think of the name of them.
you got me in it.
Was that the same place where you delivered
You
potatoes
used to
from?
back their wagon in on the side. Well, down the side they had barrels in the yard
Right,
with things in it.
Yeah.
And that's all I can think about that. And I used to garage the lorry there in the yard.
yeah, I wish I could think what it was called. You always used to say it, that was such a, oh, pickle factory, somebody's pickle factory. It was Street Bridge.
Street Bridge.
Street Bridge is where it was. Never mind. And I used to tell about driving a lorry with with potatoes on back up Copstrail Road.
Yeah.
And you'd set the accelerator, so to just carry on, and you and your mate used to get on back and chuck potatoes at one another.
had some fun in them days.
Couldn't do that now. You certainly couldn't.
It can make you coughing about now, isn't it? I can't remember seeing a couple when I was that age.
Well, they just used to walk around, didn't they? I mean, we had that police box, didn't we, outside Shaw Road at bottom of steps. Blue police box.
Yeah.
And a little door you could open and there was a phone inside. We got a picture of that somewhere with Chrysler.
It's right on the front of the car.
Yeah. Oh, and I discovered only this week. I have this vague memory, very vague memory, being a little kid, maybe 4-year-old, 3-year-old, and my mother taking me and walking up this street that was slightly sloping, and they're all prefabs. You remember the prefabs they built after the war? They were like aluminium and like little bungalows, but they're all prefabs. They built them all in a day. They were little houses. They were called prefabs anyway. And I remember my mother walking up, and they're on right hand side, and said, "Look at all these," and there were these little houses, but they were built in a factory. They came up, put one wall up, put another one up, and another one, and it was houses to live in after the war. Anyway, I only remember this, and I've got this vague memory of it. And I'm talking to an old lady next to me on Cheltenham Street. He says, "Used to be all prefabs across here, you know. After the war, they built all these prefabs. I mean, there's flats there now." Oh, I said, right. And then I went to library and I was checking up on these things. There was a newspaper report from 1946 saying they were going to build prefabs on this site. And then it clicked with me. That house that I live in, my mother's cousin used to live there, Charlie Sowry.
Yeah.
And when she was taking me past these prefabs, she'd be going up to his house because she used to go and visit him. He was about 10 years older than her. No, he was maybe 20 years older than her. And he had a car and he worked for a corporation and all that. And he bought this brand new house, which is the one where I live. And she must have walked from Shaw Road because it's only 5 minutes walk from 387 Shaw Road to my house. Over bridge outside at school, over railway, and up, and you're at my house. And she'd have taken me for this walk. I saw these prefabs, and we'd have gone into that house. So I was probably in that house 50 odd years ago that I now own, which is weird.
What is an end now?
No, you always said this, it was next to end. My mother always said it was an end house, but it wasn't. It was the next to the end house. It was 34. The end house is 36.
Well, when you came in, you had a lane at the back, wasn't there?
Yeah.
You come right down the side, you could go on, that was it.
Yeah. Did you ever go round to see my mother's cousin when you were coaching or whatever?
Can't remember.
No. But then her cousin Charlie Sowry and his wife Ida, they're on your wedding picture. I didn't know for many years, but they're actually there on your wedding picture. Charles and Ida. Well, there were a lot of people on that picture.
Yeah.
Florence is on there, and Florence Clark and Roger Clark, his father Arthur Clark, they're on. I think Mrs Hitchens is on. Your mate Charlie's on. Charlie.
Yeah.
Mrs Hitchens, she lives next door.
She lived far up the road, didn't she?
No, she lives next door to us. She's a right grumpy old devil. There were Mr Hitchens and he died. There were Mrs Hitchens. We lived at 387.
That's right, yeah.
389 she lived at. And she's a right grumpy old devil. Will you stop bouncing that ball up back there? Will you stop making so much noise? You know what they get like. And there were Mr Dawson further down. You're about 3 doors away. Clark's. What's it called? Mr Carr.
Yeah.
Was it Sig Carr? Sig Carr. He built them houses on Clare Brew.
Yeah.
We're still up them, you know. He built them about in the early 50s. Because we watched, because Clare Brew used to come straight down from all the edge, didn't it?
Yeah.
Right to the road.
I vaguely remember that, but I seem to have a garage up there or something.
You did.
The other side of them, what you were talking about.
You had a garage up there in the 50s where you had the Packards and the Chrysler. I think you had a big stove in there that you used to light or something, but that was further up. But you also had a pen.
Yeah.
You had a pen at, I'd say in about 1957 at Backashaw Road. Do you remember what you had in that pen?
Where?
What did you grow? It was an allotment. We had a gate that you went.
Yeah. Well, that I didn't have it in mine. I
No.
just had the pen went up the ramp at the back of the houses.
Yeah.
I went up there and there's water up there. The water,
You had a greenhouse.
greenhouse.
And you had some form of heating system. I don't think it ever worked, but you grew tomatoes.
Did I? Oh,
Yeah. And you said about water, there was a well there.
that's right.
And at the top of the well, you grew a rhubarb. You had rhubarb there.
Oh, there's a rhubarb.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because we used to watch the frogs jumping around there, but there was a well there. Can't remember anything else about it. But I think when I got my first bike, I'd be about 10 or 9. And you bought me this bike, it was too big for me. I think it was a 21 inch. You know, I needed a 17 inch. And you got the saddle, you took it off the thing and bolted it to crossbar. And I couldn't reach pedals.
Look,
That's right, big blocks that went on pedals. And that's what I learned to drive
how
on.
you drove it, I don't know, but
I learned to ride it on Lemner Street.
it's right.
Well, you took me down there first of all, and you're like holding up back at a saddle, and and I think you walked back up to Beaver Street, and I just kept trying and trying until one time I didn't fall off, and I mastered it. We're looking down Rocky Brew about 3 days ago. I walked up Beaver Street, still there, cobbles are still there, and you go up Beaver Street and it turns Rock Street, but then it doesn't go any further, it's all grass, and Rocky Brew's gone. There's just this big slope, and
Yeah.
it's all grass with a handrail.
I think I've seen it.
I did take you and my mother over, when would it be? 2 years ago? Yeah, about this time, August 2007 it was, that's right, you both went over. So I showed them the house and everything, and we did, we went up Beaver Street, we were trying to figure out where we lived. Because nothing there, no school,
Trees.
just trees, yeah.
There's nothing like us interacting to us now, we're too old fashioned.
Well, I don't know, I mean, in years to come, when you pop your clogs, and I'll be your age, I might be talking to Carl and saying, hey, I remember sitting in this chair talking to my dad about Beaver Street.
It's all there.
You know, it's today is tomorrow's history, isn't it? It's all interesting. It's all interesting. But when you go back and you think about these daft things that you did, like putting blocks on pedals, can you imagine doing that today to a kid? They say, I want a brand new bike, and I want a chopper, and I want this, that, and the other.